In this video, I'm going to teach you how to create an abstract painting with roses using only gouache. For those who don't know me, hi, I'm Alexandra Muscalu. I'm a professional artist, an illustrator and a graphic designer since 2010, and I'm here to teach you everything I learned over the years about illustration, about paintings, and also about everything I love to do. So let's get started with this video. I have already placed some oranges and yellows on the palette because the flower in the right corner are inspiring me those colors. And now I am doing some shapes with those colors. I'm not thinking too much of the final outcome because now I just want to make the background a little bit let's say less challenging. So I'm using gouache, which is a water-based medium, and I'm mixing it with a lot of water so I can get this transparency orange ochre yellowish background. The process is extremely intuitive. I'm not overthinking, I'm not thinking what should I do and where to place the color or what shapes to make. I'm just doing it. Now I'm thinking that I should have picked a bigger brush because I really want to cover more faster, so now I'm trying to make some big shapes over here. And I'm using more water in the areas where I want the color to be more transparency, and less water where I want it to be opaque, as you can see over here. And because I ran out of color on my palette, I'm going to bring my big box with gouache. And I think I'm going to add a little more yellow over here. As I said before, I'm not thinking, I'm just adding colors where I think that it might look good. I also add water so I can make them, blend them together, yellows and oranges, and just creating shapes and colors all over the paper. And let's bring a little bit of pink over here. And because it's a nice shade, I'm going to add it in a lot of other areas of this page. I really like how the oranges and the yellow are mixing together with the pink. It's a nice combination for the background, for what I have in mind right now. And all the colors that I use right now are warm colors. I'm mixing the gouache with water so it can blend better. And let's go and change the brush. This one was square. Now I'm going to take a brush that is round. It's a little bigger, but not big enough, but is creating nice shapes and marks on the paper. Gouache is more pigmented than watercolor and less than acrylic. And now I'm going to make the shape, the big shape where I want to place the roses. So now I'm just blocking the color for the shape, nothing more. And I'm mixing a lot of color because when you look into nature, to roses and flowers, even though they are pink, they have a lot of colors in them. They have reds, they have purples, they have oranges. So I'm not going to use only one color, only one pink, or only one shape of red, I'm going to use a lot of shades so I can create a beautiful abstract background that is going to be the base for the shadow of the roses. If you have any questions about the process, don't forget to ask them below, and I'll be glad to answer them to you as soon as I can. And now I'm going to use this big brush because it's going to give me more freedom, and I don't want to add the details right now, and I want to make big brush strokes. This blue is for the background because I want the flowers to pop up in front of the painting. So in the back I'm going to mix some darker colors, some cold colors that are going to give me the impression that the roses are in front and the background is in the back. As I said in the beginning, I'm not thinking too much, I'm just creating shapes and shadows. I'm creating shadows where I want to be the background of the roses so they can stand a little more out in the front. And I'm using blues and now a cute purple over here, and just adding some background, some deepness, some shadows. And let's blend it a little bit over here. Now back to the roses, I'm going to add more shadow to them, so I'm going to make them a little darker, just the overall shape where they are going to be, the shadows of the petals. I love working with this big brush because, as you may know, I'm a little bit of perfectionist, and this is a way for me to don't be so rigid with the shapes and to create a more abstract, a more loose, a more free painting. When I have too much water on my brush, I am using a paper to make it less wet, let's say that. So let's add a little bit of dark purple. I'm still creating shadows, and it's okay if the roses are not having a shape right now. It's okay that they are a little bit messy because we are going to add details later, after I'm going to bring them a little bit in front with this dark background, the shadows, as I said, in the background. As I said, I'm working with the gouache, and gouache is between watercolor and acrylic, and every time I add water on the layer on that is behind, is going to activate again. So you have to be careful with it, because you are going to bring to life the colors that are down, not as with acrylic that they are going to stay over there if they are. So I love how the pink, light pink, was on the background, and I'm going to add it over here a little bit more and mix it with the colors that are behind, the yellows. And let's add some more darkness. I'm using this blue, but I don't think that this is a good choice for this, and I think I'm going to use something a little bit different and mix it so it's going to be more turquoise, more purple. But it's okay because I can change it, mixing it with other colors, just blocking, as I said, the background. So as you can see, if I'm adding turquoise, it's changing and it's mixing, and now it's a little bit better. I like how it's going to turn out. And I'm adding over here also, and I love those strokes, how this brush is creating on the background. And let's add a little bit more darkness to the roses to add a little bit of shape of the petals. I really like the straight lines that this big brush can create. It's more, let's say, accurate, because I want to create an abstract, a little bit abstract painting, and this kind of brush is helping me to create those lines that are more abstract. I have to add inside of the rose some darkness of the petals, and they are starting to look a little better, a little like roses, right? And let's add a little bit of red to the left corner so it can bring a little of cold color over here, and a little bit of blending. And I'm going to add a little bit of orange color inside of the roses. As I said, the roses are going to have a lot of variety of colors. If you are using only one shape of rose, red, pink, only one shape, this is the moment where the painting is going to look flat, like a cartoon. If we are adding different shapes, different colors in one element, the rose, then it's going to look less cartoony. And the next step is to add the highlight in the roses. So I'm not going to use white, I'm going to use a little bit of pink, a light pink, where I think that the light is going to fall on the roses, on the petals. And it's okay that they are mixing. This is the beauty of gouache, and I really love how they are mixing them together. And I'm not doing too much right now, I'm just placing light where the light is going to be, and dark when the dark is going to be beneath the petals. And as I said, I'm not using white, just shades of pink, and I'm using without water. I mean, the brush has a little bit of water, and I activated them with some spray of water, but they are pretty opaque right now because I want to have some nice shapes and some nice stroke with them. In the beginning I use a lot of water for the background, for transparency, and now I'm using less water. Here, as you see, I added a little bit of water so I can still see some elements from the behind, but it's still pretty opaque because it's not as much as it was in the beginning. And I am still adding some turquoise and some purples in the background so I can make the flower more in the front. If you add the dark color in the background, they are going to appear as they are in front of the painting. And some last lights over here, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I encourage you to create, if you didn't already paint with me. I encourage you to create and test and experiment with different mediums and different brushes and strokes, and test how you can create the same thing with gouache or maybe with acrylic, and also with watercolors. I'm going to make a series where I'm going to recreate this painting with next is going to be with watercolors, and after that with acrylic. So stay tuned. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to smile. Bye.